Yeah. Hey!
Hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh man.
I was like, is she gonna make it? I was late. I was late yesterday, so I was like, oh no. So yeah, it's so bizarre trying to link up everybody with the time differences.
I know, what
So
time is it there?
so it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on
What?
Thursday.
What?
Yeah, yeah. So we're a day ahead.
That's so far out. Wait,
Yeah.
the reason I'm late is like I realized I've never used Instagram on not my phone. And I was like, oh, that can't be that hard to like do it on a computer,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
don't know how, so I was just like, oh shit.
No, yeah, I just use it I just use it on the phone anyway as well. I ended up like I would just hold my phone up against something like
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
but then I found like one of those little like cheapy shops, like one of those weird like funny little leggy
Oh yeah,
things.
that's smart. Yeah, mine's like my phone, I keep it like super red. You know how you can like adjust the color? Like
Yeah,
I have
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
really weird eyes that are super sensitive to like
To like yeah,
daytime. So it's like my
yeah,
phone's so red and I like uh yeah, like I'll buy something or whatever and it comes and I'm like, this looks so weird. And I'm like, oh, because your phone's red. Like you gotta, adjust or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But
Just
yeah, I was
yeah.
like, oh, I should use like should be fancy like big dog use a computer, but like I couldn't figure it out.
No, that's what when I first was doing this, I was looking at computers and I was like, no, I can't do it. You got to do it via this, which is really strange. It's
It's
weird to do.
strange. It's like
It's like,
evidence that like Instagram's like a video game for like phone people, like phone age people.
yeah, yeah,
My nephew's like 10 and like it Instagram isn't a game for him. It's like it's not fun for him. So what? I don't know what to do here. It's like, yeah, it's like texting, and he's like, oh, it's like
yeah,
it's like a step up from texting or something.
yeah, yeah. Because they're
Uh,
they're all on Twitch and all that stuff, and
yeah, dude,
and
they're cool.
the TikTok thing where they all do stuff and all that, which is like my worst nightmare. Like I've looked at TikTok and been like, it's like sensory overload. Like no,
Yeah,
no, no, can't deal with like all these personalities doing like gnarly, ridiculous dancing and screaming and talking and it's just
yeah,
like it's like being stuck in a phone world with like the drama, the annoying drama kids from school. Like, and you can't get away. I'm like, why would anyone
that's
want to do that to themselves? It's
it's so
horrible.
funny. It's I like to think of it more like, or I like to think of it in terms of like a conspiracy, like learning some dance that like perpetuates something that like maybe, or just think about like what do like the aliens think? Like they must think we're kind of boring until they see like 100,000 of us like doing these really weird like and trying to get it right. Like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, my niece did that today on the phone with me with like Zoom graduation party.
Mhm.
And like it took like 10 minutes and then she's like, I want to show you this dance thing, and they were all
Yeah.
doing start over, we messed up, start over, we messed up. And it's like, you guys are like, either this is the most futuristic thing or like, uh, Marcella. Hi,
Yeah,
Marcella.
yeah, she's
Hi,
there.
Sean. I forgot that you can see that. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Hi, you
yeah,
guys.
yeah. You
How
can
are
feel
you?
the little bit
Oh,
coming up.
how's it
Um,
going?
yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's like we're just going into like what is it like? We're in like autumn. Yeah, so we're kind of getting towards like cold
That's so
weather.
far out. I totally
Yeah,
forgot about that.
yeah, and you guys are like going
Wow.
into like nice weather.
Well,
Are you or
it depends, but you know what I mean? Like it's like I think it's more personal than you think, but like definitely from now on, the rest of my life, I'm not gonna care about weather. I'm gonna,
yeah,
what I mean? Like the way your outside of your body is, like you can't control, like from now on, it's
yeah,
just what happened. Like I can only care about what's inside.
Yeah.
Or no,
It's
that's not.
just
I
it's
don't
just
care.
getting like hotter and colder and hotter and colder. That's all I know. I
Yeah.
mean, Australia is pretty predictable, hot most of the time. And then yeah, when
Wait, where are
and
you?
I'm in Melbourne back in
Wow.
Australia. Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
living in England for a little bit. And yeah, but I'm back in Oz now, so it's
In Melbourne.
in Melbourne, yeah, which is
Wait.
like that is like that's the music city
That's
of
so cool.
Australia. Yeah,
So
it's where
far away.
yeah, I know. I know. It's a 20 I think the quickest flight I've ever gotten is 18
Ah! Oh my
hours.
God.
Yeah, to
So
LA.
scary.
Yeah, to
Dang.
LA. And
That
then
could change your life.
like 23, 24 is the longest thing, I think, to LA. The worst is the UK. Like England, I just wanted to die. Like when I had to go there and then coming back, and then I came back and forth another two times, and like the flight is like it ends up being nearly 28 hours or something, and you're just like a zombie,
Yeah.
and you've gone over all of these different datelines and shit, and you're just like completely out of it.
I'd love to
But
imagine that, like, I would look at something like that as like an opportunity, but like I wouldn't. I would just be scared of it for like three
yeah,
months beforehand, and then be like so scared that day, and then waste the whole time being scared, and then be scared for like a week after. Like I would totally blow
yeah,
it.
you have to just like switch off completely and be like, you know what, if this crashes or like whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen, whether I get on this plane or not. So
Yeah.
just like you just have to like not even think about it. Like it's like, okay, cool. If something bad happens, it's meant to, I guess. So there's nothing
So
you can
weird.
kind of do. Like,
Yeah.
and like it's yeah, it's super weird. But
It's
now like
weird
there's
what you can do that for and what you can't. Like everyone has their
mm,
own set of things that it's like, well, I'm not in control of this, so it's
yeah,
fine. Or like other things, they're like freak, like
yeah,
what? I wonder what that
yeah.
is. That like how you choose what you
What
can.
you freak about?
Yeah,
Not.
yeah. How do you
Well,
choose?
I used to freak, and then it became like a regular thing that I had to like get over, because it was like,
Yeah,
that'd be like for when I was working over there, it'd be like, okay, you've got to go to Germany next week for 3 days, and then like you're going to go to Italy for whatever, and then you're going to go to like France or whatever, and I'd be like, fucking shit, like, especially me, because I was like, I grew up in a like really small country town, and
whoa,
then
cool.
so as soon as I turned 18, I moved to the city, to Melbourne. That was always where I wanted to move to. So for me, it was like I had never thought that I would have the opportunity to be like flying to these places and just like, I'm going to Spain for a couple of
Yeah,
days,
totally. That's
and
so
like,
cool.
and I was like, oh, I'm going to, I'm going for my birthday. I'm going to have like a big birthday, like banger weekend, and I'm going to go to Berlin for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That kind of shit I would never have even thought of. Like,
yeah.
yeah, and my family was like pure white trash.
Oh yeah.
So like, that's like, to them, that's like I won the Olympics or something. The fact that I've gone overseas.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's pretty far away, everything from there. Like, I don't know if I
Oh
would
yeah,
ever, it's like, I don't know if I would have ever left. It seems like and it's so huge there. It seems like you could just like travel around
yeah,
wherever.
yeah. Well, you can travel around here. Yeah, like I was lucky. Because my parent, like we were not very wealthy. All of our holidays were in Australia, so we did a lot of driving, unlike driving around Australia and stuff. So it was like I've been pretty much everywhere in Australia. So I'm kind of lucky, whereas a lot of kids, I think, didn't get that. They would just like their parents would fly them to like Queensland, where all the huge, the tourist beaches and coral reef and all that
Yeah,
is,
that's
and they would fly them all there for like holidays, and like we would go there for holidays like every now and again, but often we would drive. So instead of flying, we drive, and that takes like, I think, 4 days.
Driving?
Yeah.
Dang, that's
Imagine that with like parents and children, four
I
days
can't.
in a car.
No, kids are crazy.
Yeah. And
Especially,
like
yeah,
through nothing as well. That's like through just nothing, like through desert, and like, you
that's
might go
good for
through
your
like a
head though. You know,
pardon?
it's so good for your head to just be like,
Well, you kind of, yeah, you really get like, we have so much space, like so much space, and
yeah,
then you kind of like, you forget, like, because we've got the cities, like people are always like, oh no, everything's overpopulated, and it's like, well, actually it's not. Like if you actually go outside the city,
yeah,
we've
yeah,
got like we've got like so much space that's just like not being used, or some of it is like all farming stuff, but the majority is just fucking dirt. And
yeah,
it's like, but no one wants to move there because there's nothing there. Like, so
yeah,
it's like, it's really hard, like, to get, you know, like, to expand, I guess, cities outward because people don't want to move
yeah,
out these places. But, yeah, so I was kind of lucky in that way. I got to see all the weird stuff, and like all the things kind of that, like, a lot of the things that I saw when I was growing up, are like not allowed now. Like you're not allowed to go there, or you're not allowed to touch it, or
yeah,
like
yeah.
I actually climbed what they call Uluru, which is, it was called when I was a kid, it was called Ayers Rock, which is now like not allowed at all. That's like hugely banned. But at the time I was a kid and had no concept. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, totally. Sorry.
So I was like, oh, I got to walk on the thing, like, but didn't
Yeah.
have any actual concept of it. Um, but yeah, like, but what's it like there where you are?
I saw a gopher today,
Hmm.
and a coyote.
A
Um,
gopher. I've
yeah,
never seen I've never seen a gopher
it's
in my
like
whole life.
they make these holes like this in the ground, and like you'll just kind of see a hole in the ground like this, and you'll be like, "Oh dang, like what is that?" And then all of a sudden, this guy comes up, and his teeth look like this, like they're gigantic, and they're like, it's like just like this, and he comes up, and he'll just like look right at you, and
Yeah, yeah.
doesn't give a fuck, and then just like, and then even if you move, he's just like, and then he'll like grab a piece of something with his hand and like put in his mouth and then go down. And like the dog was like going up to him, and they were like touching noses, and like they didn't care.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I mean
Because the
that,
first, that's cute.
yeah.
Well, because we don't have gophers, and we don't have chipmunks. And the first time I saw
What?
a yeah, first time I saw chipmunk was in LA, and I was like sitting on a chair by the pool, and I was like, "There's a chipmunk!" I was losing my shit and like wanting to feed it, and everyone's like, "Stop feeding! You're not meant to feed them." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"But I want it to like stay. I want it to stay."
yeah,
And everyone's like, "No, no, they're bad." And
yeah.
like,
It's a
it's the
tough
same with
call.
and hedgehogs. Like we don't have hedgehogs, like those little hedgehogs that people have as pets over there. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I was obsessed with like the chipmunk. I just couldn't get over it. Everywhere I saw one, I was like trying to get its attention, like come to me.
Yeah, I can't really say for sure that it was a gopher. I'm not like an expert on like mini mammals, that like that whole category of like guys and stuff, but it definitely seemed like the thing from Caddyshack, and that's a
Yeah,
gopher,
yeah,
and it seemed like he was just fine, like no problem
yeah,
at all, like like, and then there's also like the under teeth, but they're like it's almost like
yeah.
they're both like just outside of the mouth, and just to have someone staring at you like this was like it was pretty good. It was a pretty good day today,
Yeah, yeah.
when all is said and done. Yeah, and we saw a coyote, and I was like, it's kind of hard. Like I wanted to feed the coyote and give the coyote food because it was super skinny, and it had like
Mm.
like the wilderness people. I don't know what they're called right now, but it was like the tracking devices were on him.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
and I was like, I could feed him, but if I do that, that's gonna encourage. Like that means if he eats
It'll
some
come back.
cat, that's like my fault. I'm
Yeah.
that's my fault. That's on me.
Yeah, they also might like they can also come back. I think like there's a petition here at the moment up up in Darwin where we have the like all the wolves and stuff and like
Wow.
there and dingoes, sorry. So
Wow.
the dingoes have got those tracking things on and there's like a there's like a like some kind of big petition out to try and get those tracking things taken off because um yeah, they don't hurt anyone unless, you know. So,
Yeah, I
I
think
mean, and they're
it,
beautiful, beautiful dogs. Like, yeah, like I said, when I was traveling as a kid, I went up there to actually where like the old movie, the one where everyone always talks about the Australian one where it's like, Dingo ate my baby. That
yeah.
one? Yeah. So like yeah, so I went there and yeah, and like and played with all of these amazing dingoes and they're beautiful, beautiful animals. And like I still think that the mother killed the baby anyway, not a dingo. But and they still haven't actually closed the case. Like they
What?
haven't yeah, they don't have like definitive evidence that
Dang.
of either thing. So like it's
When is
kind of
that
like
from?
it's
Sorry.
like the which bit?
What?
You were reading the phone. But yeah, it was like in the 80s, I think it was.
Dang, and they still didn't
Yeah.
close it?
Yeah, like they've made films about it and books about it, and every like I don't know 10 years she resurfaces and like they talk about it again, and she's like I didn't kill my baby, dingo, blah.
Yeah,
And then like people like are just like, but yeah, it's just there's all these like weird gaps in the story, so it's like I don't know. I think she killed it, and like she blamed
dang.
it on that, like or she just like was like I don't want this kid, and she just kind of pushed it out for them. You know what I mean? She's
That's
just she's just a really untrustworthy kind of woman. Like
yeah.
she's really like, you know, and but yeah, yeah, they're amazing, amazing animals. And I was just like, oh, they're so beautiful and nice and like um when you're and they just walk around you and stuff and like you're told like not what like obviously don't make like
Don't look him in the
just
eyes.
yeah, like don't like do stupid shit,
Yeah.
like when you approach like an animal, like if you approach an animal like obviously like really aggressively and like fast and like whatever, they think you're gonna attack them, so they're gonna attack you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like normal common sense, really. But yeah, but like I guess because we have so many crazy animals, and then you guys have like all your crazy animals too, like bears, like big huge
Yeah.
bears and all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
that we
Well,
don't have.
yeah. Really? I don't
No,
Australia has the 10 deadliest snakes and they only live in Australia. Like you guys have
yeah.
crazy shit than anybody else. Like you
Oh
guys are
yeah.
the winners of crazy animals.
Snakes and spiders, I think,
Yeah.
are
And
are our forte.
yeah, totally. Do you know if this is true that when you guys where you're on the earth that when you look out at the stars that like here where we are on the earth we're like right here or whatever, let's say it's like
Yeah, yeah.
whatever. It's like
Yep.
we look out of the Milky Way, so if that's like like we look out where there's not as many stars, but you guys look through, so you guys have like a shit ton of stars. Like, do you have so many
Yeah.
stars?
Yeah, we have heaps. Like,
Heaps of stars.
because we have lots of like yeah, you can go up in certain parts of Australia, there's more. Like, so you can go out like so if you go to the place I was saying,
Yeah.
Uluru, like the huge rock, like out there, like you can actually see the Milky Way.
Dang.
So yeah, you can
Dang.
actually see it, like yeah, and they do like yeah, like tours and stuff and like all that kind of stuff. And then they've got like, different I always forget what they're called, like, the special like gazing, domes with the all the stuff. I'm so bad at things. Like I've got like the short-term memory of a sieve. The on the top of
Like
I'm just trying to think.
observatory?
Yeah, they have them at like loads of them, and
Wow. Cool.
different places or lookout points and things like that where you can see different stuff. But yeah, like,
Yeah.
but if you go like right up to yeah, like where Uluru is and stuff, you can actually see it, the Milky Way. So
That's
yeah,
so
when you're
cool.
like right up there, so it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It's weird to
Um,
think that like we look at different stars, but I guess it's not weird to think that, you know?
yeah, well, like we look at Leah like completely different things. It's like also we're like right, yeah, the Southern Cross. Someone's mentioning, yeah.
Ah,
Um, yeah, and yeah, like just like the fact that like like I mean when I go to LA and it's hot, it's a different kind of hot to
what's it
our
like
hot.
there?
Like I like LA a lot because it actually reminds me of Melbourne, and it's probably my favorite place is LA. Just California in general, I really like it. I
Yeah.
just because it's open. It's like open. You can go out and you can go in. You know what I mean? And that's what I and you've got the roads are all big and like that's what most of Australia is like. Huge roads, like I've seen things from like Austin, Texas, and that looks really similar as well.
Yeah.
Like the way it's all set up. So it's like and the weather is like pretty much the same. Um, you know,
Yeah, it seems like people say that like California seems like it's a lot like but so is everywhere in Australia the same weather?
no, like, well, kind of is and
Sorry.
isn't. So parts of it are like, like there's like two parts. Like there's different parts, obviously, but like, there's just two different types of summer, I guess. And it's like you have like dry, hot summer where you can't breathe, which is where I grew up, where you like as soon as you open the door, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, and you need water immediately. Like
Oh
there's just
no.
it's just so dry, like desert
Yeah.
dry. Um, yeah, and then the other is like, like Queensland and stuff where it's tropical. So like and humid, which is like how I felt about New York. Like
Yeah.
I
Well,
hated summer when I was in New York. I just felt like I pissed myself all the time. I was
yeah.
like, ugh, I
Well,
just
it's
felt
weird.
disgusting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
like the water and like the system comes from the south, like from Florida up over
yeah,
there. So it's like you're getting all the hot air and hot water, which is cool for some reasons, not cool for others. And then like
yeah,
over
yeah,
here, we're getting the water from like Vancouver, whatever,
yeah,
Alaska. So it's like
yeah,
cold water coming down, and that's cool for some other reasons. Like I don't go in the ocean,
yeah.
so it doesn't. It's like, yeah, I don't.
My version of going in the ocean is like
Yeah,
I walk in, paddle around, and never put my head on. I go this far, and that's it.
yeah, I like it, but I like the animals, and I like looking from at it from outside, and I could do that all day, every day. Uh,
Yeah,
but like if you don't go in the ocean, like you can't like get bit by a shark,
yeah.
like or like stung by a
Well,
jellyfish. And
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, like I made that decision like pretty early on when I was a kid. I was like, dude, you can't. When you're in like a car, you're not gonna get bit by a shark. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, you
Uh,
kind of like sharks are like prevalent in certain areas here, so you sort of know there's a shark. Like where you're going is a shark beach. You know what I mean? I've never seen a shark like when I've gone to the beach,
yeah.
but like I've been places where there've been sharks. Like, but I've never actually gone in the ocean where there's been a shark. Like and
Yeah. It's
like I think what's worse is like when we're growing up, we have like rivers, like
rivers.
yeah, I don't know what you call them there, creeks maybe, I don't
Rivers.
know.
No, I
Yeah,
love
river.
rivers. I
So
love it.
oh, so rivers are like disgusting. I'm gonna say
Oh, really?
we yeah, like so you have to wear shoes because
Yeah.
it's all uneven,
Yeah.
and there's all floaty animals and shit, and you rivers you can't see through.
Oh, that doesn't
Yeah,
sound, maybe it's a different word. I get what you're saying.
yeah. So
I
they're
like,
like so
yeah.
we'd have like you have rivers or you have oceans, and so rivers when you're a kid growing up, like in the country, you just jump in the river, which is disgusting, and there's all these gross things in there, and like
Do you have
yeah, pardon.
lakes?
I guess it's kind of like, it's no, not really. We have kind of mini lakes, I guess, but yeah, like
The
nothing like,
giant lakes?
not like amazing ones, no, because we have ocean
Whoa,
everywhere, like
sorry.
see-through ocean. So like you would be like, where you can actually see what you're actually touching. But yeah, like when we were a kid, you'd go to like rivers, which were like, yeah, you can't see, and there's all sorts of weird shit crawling all over you, and ugh. And you get out and you're like, ugh. Like
Yeah,
there's these little things called minnows, which are like, I don't know, they're like microscopic little fish, and
yeah.
they are all inside you. Your clothes, like everything, like so you get out of the river and you've got fit, literally, like you can see them and like get them and touch them and shit. Blah.
Dang,
And
that sucks.
it's really gross.
Dang, that
Yeah. So
sucks.
we when we were growing up, we always had like everyone had like blow up pools and stuff
Yeah,
because it's like so you didn't have to go into there. But like with school and shit, they'd make you go on camps and go in the river, which I
yeah.
guess is probably similar to like what would be a lake, like on a camp over there, I guess. But yeah,
That is
gross,
so funny. Yeah,
gross.
yeah,
And there's
that's,
snakes as well, like
yeah.
that go in the river. So like you don't want to be around there. Like
It doesn't
when I
sound
was
safe or like soothing at all.
no, no, no. I have so many scarring memories from the river that I just was
Dang,
like, no, no.
that sucks. I
There's
love
just like
like
so many weird little things in there, you
that's
know.
that's
And
disgusting.
I was gonna say like how everyone talks about shrimp, even though we don't call them shrimp. I don't know
What do you
why.
call them?
They're called
Prawn?
yab. Well, they're prawns, but they're actually called yabbies.
What? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you guys have. Oh yeah, that's like the thing everybody always talks about. Yabbies?
yeah, yabbies. So like you throw like your net a net into the river, and then they all like climb in, and then they get stuck, and then
River trip?
yeah, and then you would like pull it out, and yeah, my parents love them, and I'm allergic to seafood, but I also think I was scarred by that experience. But like they used to always go
Oh,
yabbing, and yeah, and then you get them, and like the thing that is so gross is like you know they cook them alive in a pot, like in a huge pot, and yeah, and they scream. It's
oh
They
my
scream
god.
and they climb like so you just hear this like scratch, 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 and
Oh
they're
my
all climbing up the pot, and they're screaming at the top of their like little whatever lungs. And so all you hear, there's like the lid on and the water's boiling, and they're all alive, and they're all like climbing on top of each other trying to get out, and they're all screaming, and it's like you're just like, please, please end. It's the worst thing ever. And then and then obviously people like have prawn cocktail and lots of shit. And I'm just like, dude, anything that you need to actually stick your finger in and wipe its ass out, you shouldn't be eating. You know
dang.
what I mean? Because like you have to like, break the bits off
Right.
to get the little like prawn bit, and then you've got to clean out its shitter. Mm. You
Oh my
shouldn't be
god.
eating.
This
Just
is
like
so
so I'm like, you shouldn't be eating that.
no.
If you have to do that, you should. It's not sanitary.
That
No,
I
but
really,
people love it.
my mind is super blown right now. That's like, I don't almost even like. Well, I'm gonna put that thought like right here, and then like the minute we stop, gonna keep thinking really hard about that because that's crazy to think about. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it is. And there's like so many little things. Like, I don't know, I think city kids wouldn't know, but kids who grew up in the country know way more about a lot of the crazy shit that goes on that like is just
well,
taken for granted.
I mean,
Like, you know,
if there's like, it's hard for me to imagine that any like exoskeleton animal is the same as like, I know we're all animals, but like
mhm.
if I heard like an exoskeleton animal scream, I don't, that would be it. Like that would be it
Yeah.
for me, and I
And it's
would
like,
definitely like be vegan forever, and I would never, I don't know, it would haunt me every moment, every
yeah,
moment of my life that would haunt me.
yeah. Well,
Um,
that's what it did me, like, because they did it like regularly, and like, you know, it's like 50 plus of these things, and there is nothing that sounds like this scream. Like, I would love to
I
like,
like really don't, I don't know, like my mind is so blown because I think like during what's during right now this year, there's so much, there's so much to learn, so many ways to learn it, so many things to think about, and really, and so many different things that pull you into like caring more, or um, like able to kind of like not care too much. You know, it's just like this
mm,
ongoing battle of like how much you care, you know, and how
yeah,
bad
yeah,
you feel. But for some reason,
yeah,
this analogy of like these guys screaming in a pot, like
yeah,
I feel like I
yeah.
don't,
It's
I
pretty
don't
fucked
know.
up.
I'm really gonna like, because I haven't been watching TV or listening to music or reading or doing anything for like maybe like 2 months. Not on
Hmm.
purpose. I just am like, I just stare at the wall and think. It's
I've been doing a lot of staring.
yeah, it's fucking weird, but I feel like
I'll be like, oh, I should read that book, and then I'll be like, no, I'm just gonna stare some more.
yeah, totally. Well, I feel like this is a like this is my next. I feel like this is a big thought. What you've just given me is gonna take like another month of staring at the wall because
Well, I'll see if I can find. I'll see if I can find a video of anyone actually doing it, and like, yeah. 'Cause I would love to go back, as horrible as it is. I'd love to go back and actually like record the noise and play
yeah,
it for people, so they could, so they can understand it. Like, I mean, I don't like seafood, and I'm allergic to it, so it works perfect.
that's
Because
awesome. Yeah,
I
you're
never
lucky.
would have like, I was like, you're not touching this shit, like, you know. And
Yeah,
then what, the first time I had seafood, I was allergic, so I was like, amazing. Now I don't have to
yeah,
eat any of this horrible stuff that they keep on getting. But yeah, I think when you I think seafood probably, like, I'm not vegan, I'm vegetarian, but um you know, loads of vegan people will always talk about, like, you know, cows and chickens and da 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 da.
yeah.
You never hear about the cruelty that happens to seafood.
No, that's what I'm
Like,
saying. That's what it's all
you
about.
know,
Is and it's like there's. I mean, I basically I can't get into all this because
yeah, yeah, your
yeah,
brain
it's
will just implode.
yeah. Well, I also feel like everyone. I feel like there's certain things that people haven't really all like decided how they feel about it, and I feel like um my opinions on what people eat isn't that fair. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't make like, that's the thing. It's like I would never like, I think I became vegetarian when I was a kid because I was a picky eater,
yeah,
and I just didn't like eating anything, like any red meat and stuff. Like, it was never
yeah,
it was never like a vegan you know, like agenda reason, like, or whatever. It was just, I don't like it.
that's
I
cool.
just don't like it. And
Yeah,
so I've never been a person who's been like militant about telling anybody what they can and can't do. Like,
yeah,
I've got friends who are like vegan, straight edge, whatever. And yeah, I would, it's totally their beliefs, like, and I have no issue with it. And it's like,
Yeah.
I just be like, you do what you do, I do me. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
as long as people aren't being nasty to other people, then I'm fine with it. Like,
Exactly.
I'll
That's it right there. As long as people aren't being nasty to people. It,
yeah, it's like I will sit down at a table. I'll sit down with the people, and like people will be eating red meat, and some people will be eating seafood, and like, and I order whatever I order, and like, some people will be drinking, some people won't, and it's like it's no big deal. Like, we don't need to make it a big deal, and like, you know, throw
yeah.
all it's just making everything a huge deal and throwing labels around, and and then like having these little like wars with each other, which are so unnecessary. Like,
Yeah.
just like everyone's doing the best that they can, the way that they can. Is kind of how I feel. And so I just think like, just as long as you're not hurting anyone or being nasty, do you? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's awesome. That's so cool. Like, I think that's really cool. You know?
Yeah, it's just that, like I mean, you get used to it. This everyone's different. Like, and that's what makes the world so so fun, and what's so cool about meeting different people, and is getting different views and stuff, and you can't like, yeah, like you've got to embrace some things and be like open to hearing things and stuff, but just be doesn't mean you can't hang or can't, like
Yeah.
it's like no, yeah, it's just I'm just a really chilled out person though as well, I think. So like
What does that mean?
not
We don't have
not
that.
like
What is
I'm really like um I'm just not really phased by much. Like I'm just really chilled. So like so something like happened, like someone dropped, if I like something happened, I
out?
react. I'm more likely to laugh than I am to be like um I just don't get caught up too much in some things, like little things. I'll just be like, whatever, like, no biggie, just feel like I just don't really, yeah, like I'm really
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I think I got it from my dad because my dad's really chill. Like, it's like when you meet someone, people who like are really aggressive and like really confront, like want to argue for no apparent reason. I really can't stand people like that because I'm like I can be confronting if I need to be, but I don't want to be.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
like I'm always like, why is this like why are you so angry? Like why is this such a big thing? Like it's a tiny little thing. Like a lot of the things are just like communication, I think. And
yeah.
it's like, so yeah, I don't get like really like crazy about too much. Like I'm pretty relaxed, like in terms of like, as long as shit gets done and like whatever is going on in the situation, it's fine. But yeah, it just kind of means like relaxed a bit, like not getting phased too
Okay.
much by like when you know someone who's like especially if you live in different housing situations with housemates and stuff, you'll always have like one person who's like so high strung, and like there'll be some silly little thing happens and they lose their mind, and I'll be like, well, nothing you can do about it, like
Yeah.
it'll get fixed tomorrow. Like big, no point
Yeah.
in, like no point in crying over spilt milk type thing. But oh, but I definitely have my moments, like
Yeah.
everybody.
Well, it sounds like you sure. That's
Mine are
like
usually mine are usually just really bizarre, like really weird moments. Where I'll be like, wow, I have crazy moments,
yeah.
moments that don't make sense. But yeah, generally not like everyday stuff. Not really.
Yeah.
Um, I had a message to give you today. I was just trying to think.
Like
Um,
from a person?
yeah, Tony from the Distillers.
Oh,
Um,
Tony.
yeah, he told me to say, and now I'm trying to remember exactly what I meant to say. He told me to say that he something about he knows the real you or something or other, and a picture of a whale and
Oh,
something I can't really remember, but it was really cute. And
that's
he
so
was like
sweet.
he was really excited that you were going to be on.
That's so
So
cool. I love
he was
him.
like, oh, I love Bonnie so much. He's like, tell her that I know exactly like who she is and such, blah blah blah. And then just said, and then say this little and this little whale thing. So
Yeah, well, they, yeah,
with the little spurting whale spurt.
yeah. I love whales, and I know what he's talking about. Is yeah, but
Yeah, I knew that you would know. That's why he was like,
yeah,
she'll know what I mean.
yeah. Well, I think they got me like a little whale keychain that I put on my backpack, and I think
Yeah,
they got to see a beluga whale while we were on tour with them. Um, and I love whales, but I also like, I think when we were touring with them, I was like learning a lot about dreams and like uh and like whales in your dreams is like, I used to dream about um like looking in water and seeing whales like 4 times a week, which is really crazy. And this lady, I like met this weird lady serendipitously, and all this stuff happened. She's like,
yeah,
it
yeah,
means you're looking for the true nature of people and their soul and all this stuff, and like you're trying to find, the essence of like the ocean represents like reality, and like the like both like the dimension of being awake and sleep at the same time. And like when you're looking for whales, it means like you're trying to get to like, it's like consciousness is the ocean, and um,
right.
and souls or people or their essence is whales. I was like, it blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. Like, um,
So
yeah.
someone needs to buy you like a whale sounds
Yeah, I tried
thing.
that. I tried that, like, cause I mean, yeah, it's really sad. I think like, so we did this dream survey. I don't know if I should send it to you after. I don't know if you did it, but it's like,
Yes, send it to me.
okay, it's a dream survey, and like the results are really interesting. It's like, I think it's like 10 questions. Pickle made it. She knows how to do a lot of smart stuff. Like, um, but it's like 10 questions. Oh, I'm using my phone for this, so I can't even look it up.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and then it's like they're each like 1 through 5, like 1 being the most true thing in the world and 5 being the least true. And it goes through, it's like, how much do you remember or I remember my dreams every night, and then it's like 5, like I never,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
goes on. And like at first when we did it, I was like, I imagined that it would be like, because it was just about the quarantine, like who's been having crazy dreams.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that, like the results of that from the first like 2 months, and we sent out the dream journals and all this stuff. And the results of it were pretty, like, I thought it was going to be like overwhelming, like 80% of people are feeling this way, but it's like, that's not how science works, it's
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
so it was like pretty much like 20% for everything. But then like at the end, I sort of stopped watching it because it's like so much has been happening that I forgot about our dream club, kind of. And then all of a sudden, like it shifted where like people's dreams have totally changed within like the last week.
Yeah, yeah.
And I didn't mean to say week. That was actually just the first word I could think of within the last month.
That's okay.
Sorry. The last week.
I love that you're like on the same brainwave as me
Yeah.
right now. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, "Ugh, forgetting the words,
Yeah,
whatever." It's
totally.
like, because I'm really struggling. I'm gonna say I'm really struggling with like just getting up in the
Yeah.
morning during
No,
COVID.
totally.
So
Well,
get
are
up.
you
But
working? Like, what's it?
no, they're not working there, not working at the moment. So it's like, um, yeah, like we've got amazing government assistance. So like we're okay. But
Is
yeah, like
everybody, is there like, there's just a lot going on here, so I don't know what's going on in Australia.
yeah,
Is
well
it like,
we've got like we're still in restrictions and stuff.
oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so
Cool.
we're still in restrictions. So at the moment, the latest thing is, excuse me, we're allowed to have 5 visitors per household. So previously it was zero if you lived with, yeah. So like it was it was zero if you lived with two or more people. So yeah, and so only like maybe 2.5 weeks ago it got changed to 5 people. But it's probably going to stay 5 people for at least
So
another
that's
month or
like
so.
so it can be tracked. I'm just curious
Yeah,
what like a smart government
yeah,
is doing. Like,
yeah. It's
because
so
I
that like
know we're not smart.
no, no.
I
I
know
saw,
that. I
yeah. It's
I
like
didn't know that.
it's so that they can like yeah, like obviously track. It's easier to track if there's an outbreak or whatever.
Right.
But there's an app that you can join, which I kind of haven't because I have this weird thing about the government knowing my exact location at all times. So I haven't got it. But like to be fair, I'm like I think I'm an extreme isolator. Like I've been like
Extreme
I've
isolating. That's so
yeah.
cool.
So
Wow.
I've been like I wear a mask every single time I leave the house, and like you know I have a really low immune system and like respiratory issues. So like for me like yeah, like it's not worth going out like to do anything. Like it's all you can do at the moment like is like you're able to go to the supermarket, the doctors, or like the pharmacy, or
Yeah.
like anything to do with like a doctor, like physio or like whatever. And you could get takeaway coffee, like, you know, just from the window, but you're not allowed to go in anywhere. And then just like, what was it, like two, when the 5 people rule came in, is when they started saying that cafes and stuff could open up, but
Yeah.
they're only allowed to have 20 people, and they have to adhere to the social distancing rule,
Yeah.
and they're only allowed to have a certain amount of people per table, and like it has to be booked in advance, and like you know
Dang.
it's like the menus have
So
to be
that's smart.
laminated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's smart
it's like
stuff. That makes
and
sense.
like and then the what is it like the if you want to go have a drink like a beer or something, it's the same scenario, but you're not allowed to you have food, like so you can only you have like 2 drinks and a meal, and it's the same scenario. So there's no like you can't go to a pub and just drink, like you have to
Yeah.
not in my state at least, like my dad lives up in Queensland, and their pub there they're allowed to drink, but basically they put you in a seat, like you know it's all social distance, and they just like go, here's your seat, sit there, and you just have to sit in the one spot and drink out of the same
Dang.
thing.
Wait,
Yeah, so
do
it's
you
actually
sorry, do you feel like in Australia, well, do the laws vary from state to state, or is it okay?
yeah,
Do you
some
feel like
do. Mm.
do you feel like in general that you're trusted to do the right thing? Like make a good decision or not?
I think I'd say yeah. Like I think we are. I mean, some people might disagree, but I think we are. And um, for majority of the beginning of the like when the hardcore restrictions were in, people were doing the right thing, and our government, like I guess, took a severe took a severe way um
Stand?
yeah, like a really severe
Yeah,
aggressive way.
that's
Like
cool.
they put in a load of like really gnarly expensive fines.
Dang.
So yeah, so basically those fines like happened a couple of times, and that's been enough to stop people from being wankers. Like, you know, like because it's like, you know, you're sitting, like there was a guy who was like eating a kebab, and he was sitting on a bench or something,
Yeah.
no mask, and like just floundering around for no reason. Dude got a 10K fine.
Dang.
Yeah. Saying nobody's exactly. And then there was
Oh
like
my god.
then yeah, and then there was like three teenagers, like well not teenage, I guess like 19ish guys, like they when we were supposed to have no one over, they had invited each other over, and they were having like playing video games and getting drunk. And obviously their neighbor in the apartments like dobbed them in. Yeah, and they all, I think it was like 6K each for them. Yeah.
Dude, that's
So
crazy.
as soon as like some people started getting fines, people started shitting bricks, I think, and like being like, try
So
not to do that. But
that's cool though.
there's still people here who just ignore shit, like,
That's
you know.
yeah, no, but it sounds like
But I think we've done a better job of trying to stick. I mean, New Zealand's done the best job by far. Like, but I'd say we're right behind them in that sense. Like we haven't had like not like America where you guys have had people protesting because they don't want to wear masks or they want to go back to work or you know, protesting that it's a conspiracy theory, you know, and shit like that. We were just like, we just don't want it. So like, yeah, if that's the rule, then cool. So, you know, it was just like everything you want, you can get online. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's harder when you live outside of the city, but yeah, like there's no excuse really if you live in the city to break the rules. Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's I mean, it was bothering me a lot before um everyone being a big dummy, but then I realized it's all feeding into the necessary change. You know, like the more big
yeah,
dummies some people are, kind of like the more bizarre everything is, the more people want to fight and fight right now. And that's like,
mm,
you know what I mean? Because at first I was like, are you serious? Just wear a mask, dude. Who cares? You know, like,
yeah.
and it was
It's
like, because we don't like about the vegan thing or whatever is like, we're like, I don't feel like, I feel like we play rock and roll for people that have rock and roll. Like, that's all we're
yeah,
trying to do. There's no other
yeah,
things. Like, I have political opinions, but I don't feel like that's part of my job, you know, like
yeah,
to a certain
mm,
extent. But then now it's kind of like the things that people are making political aren't political. It's not
mm,
political to wear a mask because you can, like, some people can't, that's fair. But like
yeah,
everybody else, it's like, dude, like, there's a really easy way to say, like, I, I care about you and you care about me. I'm gonna wear this
yeah,
thing. There's no reason not to, except those 1% of people that can't wear it for whatever reason. Those, you know, and then it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's for me, it's like, there's never been a time to do so much good by doing so little good, you know, like, just
yeah.
stay
Well,
home, man.
literally before I jumped on here, I was reading an article about yeah, like some chick, a woman and like 15 of her friends went to like some Irish pub in Florida. And yeah, and well, actually, yeah. So, yeah, a woman and 15 of her friends went on a night out at a pub in Florida, and now all of them have corona already. I'm like, come on, this is why you shouldn't be open. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
like, but again, like, it's just like not so much the dummy like thing. It's also your president is a dummy, and like, you know, like you shouldn't like they shouldn't
that's
be
the
opening
nicest
things.
I've heard that said. Thing.
Yeah,
Your
well,
president is no,
trying to be. Yeah, well, I mean, he's much
no.
worse. He's much worse than that. But like, you know, he's negligent. Like by like opening everything up and with the numbers that you guys have.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
mean,
was saying last night when I was talking to another friend,
yeah,
on like, you know, like our numbers I think were 19 the other day. I think maybe they're 24 now because we had some Black Lives Matter protests, so some people got sick. And I think it's like 24 cases or something, like, or whatever, new cases that have happened in the last 24 hours. And then it was like someone posted something on Twitter and it was like, you know, your current cases is something like 20 million or something retarded like that. And I was like, how are you opening things if that's literally the
well, yeah,
numbers?
I
Like,
don't, yeah.
wow.
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
so
even know what's, I don't know anything, I don't know anything about all that. You know what I
yeah. I
mean?
mean, I stopped looking. I stopped at the beginning. I was like obsessively looking, like, and now I've like really like I've stopped looking at like what the numbers are for and stuff. But I did, yeah, like capture like accidentally get get it, you know, when you're looking in your Twitter and you're like, all of a sudden, ah, shit, and you've
Yeah.
already seen it and you can't
Yeah.
unsee it. And
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, like, no.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so I was like, no, but yeah, it's nuts. It's crazy nuts. But like,
I feel like I don't
yeah.
even think he has anything to do with what's open or not, but I feel like just the way,
It's
like,
his
that's why I feel
general like lack of,
well, just him in general, every single thing of him having any attention
yeah,
negative for every reason. But I don't think
yeah.
that like it's like because I was just like, oh yeah, like opening up when there's numbers. It's like he doesn't know what the numbers are. He doesn't. It's not even like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah,
even
you're right.
part of his reality. Just as much as like I would
Yeah,
never
yeah.
think of like thinking of him to help with this issue because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he doesn't science. You know what I mean? Like it's just so far from reality. But I feel like I think that in a positive thing though, I would say is that I think it was like over 2 weeks ago was um, Memorial Day, which was like
Hmm.
a bunch of people went out and partied here. And
Yeah.
also the protests have been going on for like two
Hmm.
weeks, and the numbers here haven't risen, which is awesome. That like to
That
me,
is good.
not the Memorial Day stuff, but like for the protests at least, it's like um, it was scary because I was like, oh man, like like everyone's got to go out and represent, but then everyone's going to get sick
Gonna
and
get
like,
sick. Yeah.
and it's such a, it's so hard to be divided. Everyone has such a different home situation, but it's like, it really didn't affect things. And even I was like, just wait, in 2 weeks, we're all going to be fucked. And it's like, it really
Yeah.
didn't
It hasn't sort of, yeah,
affect,
yeah.
which is cool because it's like, now people can keep going out, like in that way, um, not like going out and partying or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. But
I
they
think
can still rep. Mm.
yeah, I don't think like, I think a bunch of places did a really good job. I think like Los Angeles did a good job, like
Hmm.
so far.
Yeah,
California did
yeah.
a good job so far,
Yeah.
kinda.
Oh,
But
I'm getting the little like annoying reminder thing. So I'll hang up and we'll call back.
oh really?
Yeah, we've been talking for ages. So
Really?
yeah, we'll come back and talk music. All
Okay,
right.
cool. Oh,
All
cool.
right.
Okay,
All right.
yeah. Bye.
Bye.
What?